So, Starrcade 1991. I'm going to enjoy this one. And not only that, Pete, I am going to, I hope, lay to rest one of the longest wrestling bullshit lies.
Right.
Battlebowl.
Battlebowl.
Now, are you a huge fan of the Battlebowl and lethal lottery concept?
Mark, I wasn't really across it until it happened, and it was thrilling.
So, Dusty Rhodes is the booker. He's invented war games.
Yes.
And he goes, what's the next day? I'm looking for the next big hit. Next big hit.
I'm not against this. I think it's brilliant. But it has massive holes.
Huge flaws. Huge flaws. So Dusty's going, right, it's crossing War Games, the Royal Rumble, and the Survivor Series. There's lots of sort of elements of chance, all very good. That is understandable if you go, now we have control over it.
Yeah.
Instead, Dusty goes, and then I think the pièce de résistance is going to be handing over every booking decision to a small mesh wire cage spun around by Missy Hyatt and Megan Thier. Now, there is a thing about this is that each match is supposedly, and this has never been disproved, it is basically set by an actual unrigged, legitimately random drawing of talent.
And that would almost make it reasonable.
Yeah.
Because if they planned any part of this...
Yep, exactly that.
It's awful.
Bear in mind, Pete, this is... okay, yeah, if they had planned this, they're shit.
Yeah.
But they also went, this is our version of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And we will leave it up to a tombola to come up with what happens.
And also, there are certain things that happen backstage and little vignettes and stuff. And I sort of go, right, how did they trigger that if that was completely random? Which makes me think that they might have planned some of them.
Now, I would argue that if this was random, right, they came up with the single worst combination of people and matches.
Oh, it was like a lottery.
It
was like, could you win an inverse lottery? Could you get the lottery so wrong that it gave you money because they felt sorry for you?
You did not want to see any of the matches that came out, right? With two exceptions, I would say it is the worst combination of any result that you could possibly have imagined. You couldn't combine people into worse pairings if you tried. And I did try. You can't do it. Marcus Bagwell and Jimmy Garvin to open the show. Larry Zbyszko and El Gigante. Bill Kazmaier and Jushin Liger. Steve from the Young Pistols and PN News. Right? Absolutely awful. Worse than that, if you look at it, the tombola doesn't give you a single match where you could even go, I want to see a match between two of the competitors on either side. You're sort of like... we'll talk about it later, but the only one I was like, this works with is Ron Simmons and PN News. I had no interest in seeing that match. Watching the actual thing, I was like, this is fucking brilliant, right? Real surprise. And so it threw up that.
Yeah.
Fair enough, I wasn't expecting that to be fun. But every single one of the matches also has one person in it who cannot wrestle at the level that they're supposed to.
There are so many instances where you sort of go, why are you bad? Why are you not taking the...
Why is there not one match that you're like, that's a bit of a dream match? It's slightly, the second match, they go, Ravishing Rick Rude and Steve Austin. You go, fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's
versus
huge for me.
Big Josh and Van Hammer. No. Anything else could have been better. I mean, how it could have been so bad every single time, then that becomes suspicious.
Yeah.
It couldn't do it right once. There are 40 people, so there are 20 teams. Not one of the 20, apart from Stone Cold and Rick Rude, are a team you want to see. And not once do they face anyone you want to see. That is statistically impossible. Statistically impossible to be that bad.
So the whole conceit is that everyone's backstage in the dressing room, which looks like it stinks of Raljecks and problems.
It is not a glamorous...
People doing absolute rails of coke off camera.
The WWE would never have shown a dressing room looking like that.
Yeah.
Never.
Absolutely rancid.
Properly
Absolutely
sort of...
It starts with everyone on stage. Everyone's on stage and they're all lined up like an off interstate brothel. Like just where the women line up and the truckers just go, they won't. And it's like that. And it's horrible.
I would say, look, look, is it completely random? I mean, they've always... online, it says, that part of the big disaster was it was done completely randomly. I would say it's not done completely randomly because when you get to, for example, who's the first person picked out from match 5 onwards? So the first person that comes out, Lex Luger.
Yeah.
Match 6, Ricky Steamboat.
Right.
Match 7, Sting. Match 8, Vader. Match 9, Scott Steiner. Match 10, Ron Simmons.
Right, they're big hitters.
Big stars.
Yeah.
Now, they're in amongst the likes of the Z-Man, the Night Stalker,
Yeah.
Firebreaker Chip, Arachnaman, There are
Yeah,
3
good
times as
point.
many people who could have been in that pole position.
So
who aren't.
man could have been pulled out first.
Yeah,
for this.
never was. It's all as soon as they get halfway through, you start getting the big stars.
Yeah.
I think they've got a thing going. They'll know it's real now. They'll know it's real, so we can just do what we like. The single most damning bit is when you get to the Ricky Steamboat match. There's a bit where Eric Bischoff takes it out and he holds it back and he goes, "I'm not going to open this right now," he says, "because I'm going to save it." And then I think he's sort of going, "I can do the big announcement." And they bring the second one, and Missy Hyatt, who is taking the things out, is unaware that the cameras are picking her up.
Right.
I sent you on the WhatsApp a little sound file that I have isolated and which is going to bring down this whole dirty, rotten fucking house of cards.
Oh my God, this is like a true crime podcast.
Finally, we're going to be popular.
That's great.
As we take a look, I think I'm going to keep this one a secret for just a moment. First half of this team, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Yeah! His partner, Todd Champion.
Wow.
What a team this is going to
I
be.
think it's a shoot, huh?
I think that's a shoot. Ha ha ha.
Oh.
She says. So she's gone, "Oh, I think that's a shoot." Why would you say that this far in?
Right.
If you hadn't gone, "Oh, they're all sort of shoot. They're all real." So she goes, "I think that's a shoot." Why would you say that Todd Champion was a shoot
Yeah.
if the other ones all were shoots?
Yeah.
What's going on? This match is the one where it all falls apart.
Right.
Because in this bit, you have the tag team of Ricky Steamboat and Todd Champion, Cactus Jack and Buddy Lee Parker. Now, when they cut to Buddy Lee Parker in the dressing room, he is right close to the camera. A man who is as low on the card as you can possibly imagine. And he's in prime spot there. And what he does is he starts getting up before his name is announced, right? So he's sort of been waiting as Cactus Jack is announced. He's sort of waiting to get up. He's waiting to hear it. And I was thinking, okay, maybe he's playing the role of someone who is really ready to go.
Yeah.
And he's hoping to hear it. And it just so happens, yep, this is the one where he gets called out. So he's either good acting or he is about to get up because he knows he's coming and he's bad acting, right? This whole section is the bit where it all collapses. And it collapses because Buddy Lee Parker is attacked by Abdullah. That is because he is Cactus Jack's partner.
Yes.
And Abdullah doesn't want anyone else to team with Cactus Jack.
Yeah.
Well, what if Buddy Lee Parker had been called before Cactus Jack?
Right.
Abby couldn't chase him and beat him up. What if Sting had been called as Cactus Jack's partner
Would
instead?
would Abdullah fight
Sting and
yeah.
they'd taken him out.
Yeah.
The ending with Buddy Lee Parker only works where he basically crawls to the ring, spends the entire match crawling to the ring and is then immediately pinned.
Yeah.
It could not work with Sting. So the booking must at some point have clicked in to
Yes.
go, that has to be Buddy Lee Parker for this bit to work because Sting, we need him to do, it's all that. And I was like, no one has ever looked at this and gone, this was obviously just booked.
Well,
I was looking as well. I was going, what's the moment where they say to them, you need to win in about 10? That can come through the referee. There are bits where you don't see them as they go through.
Yeah.
I was thinking, would anyone fucking book it like that? Would you actually go, you just go out there and do anything?
Do you think like the first few rounds were done? And then
I would, but the opening one is the only one where two members of a tag team face each other, and it's the Freebirds.
Yeah.
And I would say their reaction is maybe people weren't told what they were going to do. As in they weren't told where they were. But I can't imagine it wasn't booked.
Yeah.
But everyone is like, oh no, it's famously, it's completely kosher. Absolutely, totally true.
Because having two members of the same tag team on other sides, that would be the first thing you did to sort of go, this is real.
I think this was booked, and the only people who don't know about it is everyone apart from Eric Bischoff reading the names out and Dusty Rhodes who has come up with it.
Right.
I think it's people are like, oh, it's real, because if you ask the wrestlers, they go, yeah, we didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's real.
No,
That means they weren't told.
Yeah.
They were in the dark.
Okay.
And what's funny is if you don't tell them that, that's what's going to happen, then what you do end up with is exactly this, which is a load of matches where there's no chemistry, nobody knows what to do. There are so many arm bars because everyone's just like, don't quite know what to do this guy, do an arm bar. They just sort of do that. But the Freebirds in this, again, they're like on rival sides. And there is a bit of business where he accidentally hits his partner.
Yeah.
And again, you have talked about this. You have talked about. That's what I find so amazing about Starrcade 91. It's an attempt to sort of trick you and go, this is all off the hoof. And they seem to have done that by going, we can only do that if people think it's quite shit. So everyone go in there and be shit. And it is shit. They give you 10 matches you do not want to see.
Yeah.
And all of them are bad. And then they have the nerve to sort of go, well, you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles. No, you did it. You did this.
Yeah. Right.
Takes place on the 29th of December. The Christmas taint, isn't it?
Yes,
You know,
it is. That dead space.
That
Yeah,
terrible
lovely.
space between Christmas and New Year.
That's annoying for the wrestlers. Having to leave their families and fuck off somewhere.
You think that's bad, do you? You think that's bad? Think that's bad? Jushin Liger won the WCW Light Heavyweight Championship from Brian Pillman on the WCW show, which took place on the 25th of December on Christmas Day.
Mark, why would they do that?
There was a really old tradition of wrestling used to happen on Christmas Day. And that
Oh,
you'd
what,
go
'cause
to see it in
people
the
are-
morning, like on a matinee, and then you'd watch that, and then you'd go home and have your meal.
Right.
What about the fucking wrestlers?
I know, right?
It's absolutely mad.
It'd be on double time like a taxi driver, surely.
I know you're never home through the year. I know. But all we want you to do is work fucking Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Absolutely nuts.
And they wouldn't be in all of their hometowns.
No.
So it'd be
No.
all over the
Jushin
place.
Liger, he's from, I think he's from Nagoya.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's a
Look.
trip on Christmas Day, isn't it?
Yeah, but they eat KFC on Christmas Day, don't they? They don't care about that.
I'd be very sad about missing that. Delicious.
It is.
I don't think there's any way of cooking KFC that is as bad as most KFC is cooked. It is the absolute. I mean, I know, like, you look at McDonald's burgers and the photos of them, very different, very different.
Yeah.
KFC, sometimes you get stuff and you're like, if I cook that at home, I throw it away. Because it's
Right.
KFC, I will eat this.
Yeah, because there's a level of trust there.
It's always delicious.
I
You do get the shits afterwards.
My name is Colonel Sanders, and I am a real person. Oh, it's true. It's damn true.